Are you generating daily solar appointments on autopilot? I'm going to go over the key system that we implement for solar contractors and installers to generate daily exclusive solar appointments, all founded on these three pillars. So often we bring on a new contractor and we find they really don't have these systems in place to easily book leads, remind them, upload bills, to address the doubt, show them examples of why the investment is a sound investment with visual proof. And then lastly, developing trust, right? Developing trust with the prospect on why we're best suited to solve their problem and install their solar system. So these are the three pillars that we're developing these assets. One is assume they're busy, right? People are busy these days, especially with solar. It's not an immediate need, right? So we really need to provide a sequence that makes it as easy as possible for us to fit into their schedule and for them to book an appointment when it's convenient for them. So we make it really easy for them to book appointments. As soon as they fill out the form, we're presenting a booking calendar. If they don't book, we have various workflows to remind them. Once they do book, then we're presenting them a form for them to upload their electric bill or submit via text or email attachment, right? So we're sending out various reminders on the importance of to attach that bill to make that initial call as productive as possible. Then lastly, we're leveraging AI setters to do all of this, right? So if you're a small team, you're on the job, you can't always pick up the phone or answer inquiries. So this is where we have a conversational AI assistant to work leads, to work dead leads, to book them in appointments and retrieve bills. And so the second pillar is proof. We want to assume everyone's going to doubt everything they see online, right? So how do we combat that? We provide proof, also called proof stacking, right? So the example would be leveraging an example proposal, right, showing the visual ROI or of a post-solar electric bill, right, breaking down this electric bill to explain how net metering works, how that accelerates return on investment, and all of this feeds into selling the proposal, right, to entice homeowners to see the numbers for themselves. So lastly, we want to instill trust in our system. So how do we do that? We can educate the gap, right? So we can provide a webinar video after they book an appointment, right, to explain next steps, frequently asked questions about going solar in your particular market, answer any questions about your company, why you guys are experienced, and anything else that we can do to further prep them and prepare them for the initial discovery call. It can also help weed out the tire kickers and those who may not be qualified, right? So this is another really important step to just add more value in education associated with your brand. And then we're also leveraging case studies. So this kind of ties into proof stacking, right? So really just compiling example after example of how we're able to solve the problems for homeowners in their particular neighborhood, right? Where we can show example after example of projects and portfolios that you've done and the savings and ROI associated. Then lastly, we really need to make sure we have a review stack in progress. So this is essentially automating Google reviews. We all know more Google reviews equals more closed business. It's really easy to structure this to also generate new referrals, right? So we can automate all of this into our workflow. And so lastly, we want to showcase the team, tying in assets of who we are as a company. We're locals just like you guys in the area, serving and living in the community. So all of this really helps drive convenience, proof, and trust. So when we do want to start to turn on ads and spend all that money, it goes through a nice, neat system that doesn't have leaks in the bucket, right? So too often that we find that installers just have too many leaks in these various buckets, and it doesn't get the most ROI out of their ad spend when they start to purchase leads or drive leads themselves. So if you want to see how this looks more in depth on our video on the next page, we go over visual examples of how this works in action and the foundation program we do provide, all for just $297 a month, because this is really going to prime you guys before we want to start to turn on leads. Unless you have the system in place already, we don't take you guys on. We want to make sure we have this system and apparatus built first before we turn on the lead faucet. So fill out the form, check out the video where you can see live examples of this working in action, proof of the results we've generated for other clients. Thanks a lot.